How to research keywords for YouTube. You can actually forget what you've been taught. You haven't learned it the right way if you haven't learned it from me. And not only am I going to show you the right way to do it, but I'm going to demonstrate it in this episode. So I'm going to show you several examples of keyword research and how I do it. And I admit what I'm going to show you is pretty boring. It's not the funnest job, but you've got to do it. It doesn't take very long. You've got to do it because it's what's going to get you the most results. If you skip this step, your videos will not get viewed on YouTube. To say that in another way, by taking this step first, you ensure that your video has an audience that will find it. Because most of the time you can make an amazing video and you put it on YouTube and there's crickets. No one watches it. It just sits there, valuable, but no one knows about it. Okay, so the first example I'm going to show in this episode is workforce diversity. Let's say that's your expertise or that's something that you speak on. Take a look at this. This amazing tool, it's called the Keyword Magic tool. You hit the questions button and I'm going to turn up the word count to 8. So that's all I do. My default is 8. So I'm looking for questions that are 8 words or longer, and then we're off to the races, all right? So there's some really specific questions here. Take a look at this one. How affirmative action may be affected by growing workforce diversity. Or this one's great. How does diversity help to strengthen the workforce? The next one. What's the primary reason for developing workforce diversity programs? Now pay attention to these numbers over here, because these are really long phrases. These are long, really specific phrases, and yet there are 30 people every single month typing in that exact phrase. You may think that's a low number, and it is. It's not a huge number, but for that long of a phrase, this is gold. These are people that are searching exactly for you. So if they do this search on Google or YouTube, your video pops up, they're gonna think, wow, that's exactly what I searched for. So they click on it, they watch it all the way to the end, and the YouTube algorithm says, wow, this is a valuable video. Let's find more people just like this person that we can suggest this video to. So you get 30 views in that first month, and then YouTube takes over to promoting it to more and more people after that. So what I do from here is I just comb through the list, and in this case, we get to 0 pretty quickly. So I would say, what are the 2 major forms of workforce diversity? You probably know the answer to that question. How can it influence the workforce in a positive manner? What are some of the trends? And why is it an important issue for managers? Okay, so I like those. I think that each of those that I checked could make an individual episode for your channel. Then I'll come over here and I'll hit export, and it downloads a spreadsheet to my computer, but I prefer to use Google Docs so I can organize everything together. So I'll copy it and I'll just paste it right there. Okay, let's do the next one. Okay, here's another example. I just put goal setting in that search bar. I got the questions button turned on like we always have on, and I've got the advanced filter again set to a word count of 8. Didn't change that. So the first thing I noticed when I look at the screen is this has a lot. There are a lot here. I mean, the top question, why is it important to set realistic goals? That's a really good question. It is quite competitive. And I say that because it's got 1,300 search volume. And in my mind, I equate higher search volume means higher competition. A lot of people use this tool, and I like to go after the low-hanging fruit. So I'm going to check that one because I love the question, but just know that that one's probably not going to get me results right off the bat because there's a lot of competition. Now there's obviously a lot in here. There's a lot about setting goals on an Apple Watch or setting, calorie or exercise goals. It really depends on what your expertise is. And so for this, I'm thinking goal setting, like if I help people set and accomplish goals, do I really want to niche myself to exercise? Maybe I'll apply this to myself. I don't teach people how to set goals for fitness, but I do a lot of goal setting for business or whatnot. So I'll find topics that really apply to me. All right, so I love this one right here, how to set goals and follow through with them. I like that there's that extra part on the end because that's an important piece, and that would make a great YouTube episode. Oh, and the one right below it, how to set short, medium, and long-term goals. That's really specific. Now this one right here, I don't know, because it's the question, what are the 4 steps involved in goal setting planning? I don't know 4 specific steps, so that wouldn't apply to me, but if it applied to you, that would be really specific. I do like this one right here. Why is it important to set long-term goals? I think it's a good general conversation to have, like why do we need to set those long-term goals? So that could be a great episode itself. So if I were doing this keyword research with a client, I would ask them, I'd look at this one and say, okay, this one's a good title, but do you talk about employees, right? How to set clear goals for your employees. That's a great video title, but it has to be applicable to your content. Another one here that's super specific, how to teach goal setting to middle school students, but but do you do that? Do you teach goal setting to students? Okay, here's another good one. What are good goals to set for yourself? Or what career goals have you set for yourself? The way that that's worded is a little odd, but I would see if I can find another one that's similar. Here's another specific one. So I would continue to go through and just find all the ones that are applicable, and then I come up here, and again I hit export. We've got 9 just selected so far. I'd probably be able to find 50 if I kept digging. Okay, so I just come and I'll copy all of those into my clipboard, and then I'll come into my spreadsheet and I'll paste those right there. All right, you ready for a big one? Let's try motivation. Turn on the questions button again, and I'll turn on that minimum word count. All right, so we've already got phrases up in the 500s, the 300s right there. So if your channel is just getting started, I would probably skip those for now. The higher the search volume means higher competition. Once you've got momentum on your channel, then take a look at those ones. To start with, I like finding phrases between 10 and 100 searches per month. So here we go. How can I motivate my students to learn? That's pretty cool. How do I get myself motivated to do anything? There are 90 people every single month that are asking that. They can't get motivated to do anything, and you need to make that episode for them. All right, how to answer what motivates you interview question. Okay, so there's people who want that answer. They want to know how to best answer that when they're getting their job interview. How to be more motivated in the morning. See, when you add more words like this, you find ideas that you never would have thought of to talk about specifically in the morning, or the one right after that, how to get motivated to get up in the morning. Oh, and if you want to teach people to do what you do, how to become a motivational speaker and get paid. So as I continue to scroll down this page, you'll see that there are a lot, and we're still in the 90s on page 1. Okay, you're going to find dozens and dozens, probably 100. I mean, I did a search for a big category like this recently, and I found 114 unique episode titles just in one search. So you'll check all the ones that you like, and then you hit export. I've just got 6 selected right now. I say the word export so many times, I don't even know the right way to say it anymore. All right, so I just paste those into the spreadsheet. Now I'm going to do a search for burnout, as if we're getting burnout in YouTube or burnout in business. There's a lot of speakers that actually talk to that. So this one doesn't apply. How to do a burnout in an automatic. See, that doesn't apply, so we'll skip through that. We might do an exclusion here where we type in motorcycle or truck, car. And it's going to take us some time if we really wanted to filter out everything, but we can manually just sort through. All right, here we go. What to do when you have job burnout. That's a great one, so I'll check that. This is interesting. Why focusing on professional burnout is not enough. How to talk to your boss about burnout. A lot of these topics I would have never thought to consider, but there's consistent search volume every single month. This is gold right here. What are some things you can do to avoid burnout? Ooh, this one's fun. When burnout is a sign, you should leave your job. All right, here's one more I'll grab. What are the signs and symptoms of burnout? All right, so I'll export those again. I just grabbed 6 for this demo, and I will just paste them into my Google Doc. Now, as simple and maybe tedious or mundane as that seemed, I want you to really understand how valuable that is. I just gave you gold. Again, remember, this is what people pay the big bucks for. This one boring step, yes, I admit it's kind of boring doing this step, but this one step will make sure that your videos have a built-in audience. You have a built-in marketing strategy with your videos, so you've got to do this keyword research first before you film. Now that you've caught the vision of the difference between push and pull marketing, I have a 5-ingredient formula that I want to share with you. I've recorded another episode. You can either click on it here or up here. The episode is how to get 1,000 subscribers a day on YouTube.